I'm Steven McBee, and you are listening to Like a Farmer.
Hey y'all, it's Pat. Welcome to another episode of Like a Farmer. Before we get into this episode, I just want to thank everybody for watching us on a weekly basis. I know we started to a once-a-week show in May. It sometimes can be a little tough to hear me talk every single week, but we always have some great guests, and the whole goal is to go around the country and celebrate rural America and who the farmer is. My guest today, I know you've been watching them on a weekly basis, but now it's time to hear from them and really get the true story behind the McBee Dynasty, Steve and Steven McBee. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Happy to have you out here to the farm.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, we're actually in the McBee Dynasty studio. You got McBee Farms over here, and I appreciate y'all letting me use the studio.
Oh, absolutely.
Worked out. We haven't been able to put it to as much use as it should be, so it's nice to have someone in here actually filming with it.
I'm excited to be here. I've had to travel around the country, and just whenever I can get a guest to come on the show and celebrate who the farmer is, I'll go. We've been at the back of a pickup truck with Ross Chastain. We've been on Riley Green's farm. We were at Josh's house in Buffalo, so I'm just going where I can go, and actually be in a cool studio like this is awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, major respect to traveling around. I've seen you busting down the beaten path, living out of a suitcase over the last few months doing this, so it's awesome.
I appreciate it. I want to let's just get in right for the TV show, okay? I mean, tell me, how did that even come about, the TV show?
Well, I was on a dating show, a very unpopular dating show called Joe Millionaire. Okay. Yeah, it was a flop of a show, but it aired on Fox in 2022. And really my whole goal with going on that show was because in that time, Yellowstone was on its 4th or 5th season, and everyone was telling me, hey, you guys are so similar to this Yellowstone show that is #1 on TV. I started watching it, and as I'm sitting there watching, I'm watching Casey Dutton and my brother Jesse, like spitting images of each other. We fly a helicopter. You know, we do a lot of things that are very similar. And then the stresses and pressures that are showcased on that show, we deal with in real life farming and ranching. So seeing that show, I was like, man, we've got an interesting story to tell, let alone the personality that is my dad and my brother Cole. And I was like, if I could just get someone from LA to come out here and see this. And about that time, I got a message about coming on a dating show, and I was the last person to believe in finding love on TV. But somehow I actually ended up with a girl out of it, too.
Oh, you
Still
did?
Dating her. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Joe Millionaire with some success. I love that.
Yep, I'm a product of reality dating TV.
That's awesome, Steven.
That don't happen often. That's not what I anticipated. He was like, oh, yeah, this thing, I will not.
I was like, I'm going to go here and just have fun.
Yeah. I'm going to have a good time. Hopefully we get some eyeballs on the farm.
Yeah.
And, rural America. And then he brings her back. And no, it's been good. She's a firecracker. I think she lines him out. So
she's a Dallas girl. She's a little bit different than anything from out here in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But she's awesome, and we've had a good time. And she's on the new show as well. So
how's it been for both of y'all being under that microscope of a TV show?
I think for Steven, he had more experience on it. But as far as I'm an old dog, I'm an OG. I'm just me all the time. And so when they're filming, the hardest thing for me was the mic, because the first couple of days or even a weekend, I'm very opinionated, and I'd tell I'd be like, man, can you believe they just did that? And they're like, Dad, and they're tapping,
hot mic.
And I look over and they're all looking at me. I'm like, hey, no harm, no foul, so it was kind of funny, but the cameras didn't bother me. The mic was a little bit of getting used to.
Mm-hmm.
So
for sure. And I think for us as a farming operation, being the size that we are, we're a bigger fish in a smaller pool relative to our area. And so we've been under the microscope really for the last decade. I mean, whether it's locals talking about us, going underneath or going under these random audits that we somehow randomly get selected for every single time. So we're used to it. Yep. And so putting it on the spotlight, we're like, hey, we've got nothing to hide. Like, come out here. We want to show you our lifestyle, what we do day to day. And really wasn't any different than just normal day-to-day life.
You hit that right on the head too, Steven. And coming from a 6th generation farming family back home, seems like we're all always under the microscope, whether it's for a TV show or not, just because being in farming. And y'all mentioned Yellowstone a little bit ago, and everybody in Yellowstone has done so good for us coming from rural America and kind of shining a little bit of that light on who a farmer is, who a rancher is, where your food comes from, and the adversity that farmers and ranchers have to face every day. Like, how does that make y'all feel that, like, this isn't a fake farming and ranching TV show? I mean, this is real life. And coming from producers out of LA or New York or people that don't quite understand that lifestyle, like what are some troubles y'all have had to face on, hey, actually, this is kind of real life?
Yeah, absolutely. So a week leading up to the show, we knew the production company was coming out. We were having meetings with them basically every single day just to prepare for what the next 4 months were going to look like. And they were telling us, hey, if we get out there, we know a little bit about farming. If we have to drum up some drama or some storylines, we may have to do that. And within 1 week of shooting, their minds were blown. They could not believe how much action and how much adversity we actually face day to day on the farm. And being able to showcase all of that is something that I think we both felt really strongly about, because so many people are disconnected from it. And still today we're getting comments on our social media like, that can't be real. There's no way that much is happening on the farm. There's no way you guys are dealing with that much. Yeah, that's what small town farmer and ranchers are dealing with. And, we're lucky enough to be diversified across different business industries to help supplement our income throughout the bad years. I can't imagine trying to be a dedicated farmer and rancher, and that is my only source of income. Wild swings you would go through.
Totally. And I'm a big believer, and I think to be successful in farming, you do have to have diversification on the operation. Y'all have done a great job with that. How did the idea of this type of TV show come about, though?
Well, I think it originated, when he came to on Joe Millionaire, they came back and they had the 6 girls.
The top 6 girls came back.
6 girls. So they seen the ranch, and that kind of resonated with us because they were like, wow, you guys have so much going and such an interesting dynamics from a family perspective of 4 boys, the father, even as a first generation farmer, because like most people, they've inherited, it's been passed down and passed down. They're like, this is unheard of how challenging is it for a young person to get started today
100%.
In ag space? I mean, if you look at the numbers, anybody
it doesn't
pencil. You'd say this can't happen. Nope. This doesn't make, mathematically won't work. So they looked at everything and they're like, okay. And then we started talking about, obviously, the dynamics in America today and how negative farmers can be, the outlook on farming and agriculture and the whole agriculture space. And we thought, this would be a great opportunity for us to show the good things, like how all the sustainable and everything
regenerative and sustainable practices we're implementing. It seems like the farmer and rancher has been painted as this villain to, carbon emissions or what we're doing for climate control and global warming and things like that. And it's like, come out here and see the farm. Look at what farmers are trying to do to progressively lead the way for, capturing, sequestering that carbon, regenerative, sustainable practices, cover crops, no-till practices. We're actually helping lead the way into the future rather than being this so-called villain against it.
Yeah, spot on. And we talked about this a little bit off camera. I mean, technology is on the forefront of farming right now, and y'all have done a great job. What do you think? So season 1 is done. I mean, from the episodes that have aired, and I know you can go on Peacock and binge the whole thing, but how do y'all feel about the show? Like, what would y'all rate it?
Yeah, I guess that's probably a different perspective. They told me, when we were first on it, they're like, don't worry, we're going to make you look like a hero. I'm not quite sure what their definition of a hero is.
Yeah.
But, that wasn't mine. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay. And they just kept saying, trust the process. And I will say, giving accolades to NBC Universal and Peacock, they were super to work with. They, they were very accommodating and they did everything, but they just kept saying, trust the process. So, I would have spun it differently, but the reviews that they're getting, I feel like we did so much hard work that we do 7 days a week, and all the stuff with the farming and ranching, and they showed little bitty nuggets of that, but I would have liked to have seen more. So if I was the producer, I would have had more on there. They like to take a lot of the drama, and it's real. I say this over and over, and I sincerely mean it, because I wasn't a big reality show or even TV. I don't watch a lot of TV, but at the end of the day, I watched some before our show dropped. I was like, what do they like? And I'm like, we're the most realistic reality show on TV. I guarantee you that. It's real. So people are like, did that Escalade really get wrecked? I'm like, walk outside.
Yeah, that was a true story. Yeah, we were dealing with the fallout of that.
You can't fake that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real.
Yeah, that's good to know. I mean, and that was one of the things that I want everybody to understand is like, this drama that's happened on this TV show, I mean, none of this is fake. I mean, this is
not a single part of it. So, we're a little disappointed because let's say 95% of filming was us doing what we do day to day. Hard work, going out, busting it 7 days a week, spending time as a family, nice wholesome content or actual technical aspects of farming and ranching. And the 5% is the partying and the drama. And I think the 5% got the majority of the airtime. But so be it. You understand it's a push for ratings and eyeballs, and there has to be some sort of drama to pull in new eyeballs. So as long as we're bringing new eyeballs to farming and ranching, we'll take the consequences of being called, drama kings or, whatever else comes with the territory.
I think that's been the biggest thing too is, the number one reason I wanted y'all on the show, it's like, we were talking about this last night. It's like, man, these are real-time farmers and ranchers that are feeding us every single day. This is not a reality keeping up with the Kardashians TV show. Like, this is something that, the two objectives of Like a Farmer that I want it to be is to celebrate the farmer, but also educate the people. Mm-hmm. And y'all on the education piece is so important, and it's like we've got to continue to shine more light on that. What do you think, when it comes to the TV show, has been the most difficult part of it?
Really, for us, I enjoyed the whole aspect of production, filming. I would say the travel right now is really tough. So the press side of things. Now we're traveling nonstop. Press only happens throughout the week. And it is difficult as all get out because we're also out in the fields trying to get all of our crops planted. And so that aspect is really, really tough, just time crunching. Trying to figure out how are we going to keep our businesses afloat, because the businesses are where we're making money. We don't make any money from the TV show. We're not reality stars. We don't get a big income from the TV show, so we have to figure out a way to keep the businesses not only sustained but also growing to where we want them to grow while doing all this side stuff, the press and whatnot.
That's good for people to know. I'm not sitting here with Kevin Costner and all the other.
We're not fighting over $10 million an episode.
No. Exactly. I wish we had those problems.
Yeah.
I will take those problems. If they want to fund us,
please we'll
bring
take
it on.
those.
I will deal with those kind of problems. But right now, like yesterday, I'm out there digging. Someone called in sick. I'm with my brother digging in electrical for our, down at a car wash. I'm in a ditch this deep making videos, all day long. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So, and that leads to my next question. Is like, why do this? Like, what's the most rewarding part of the TV show?
Well, first and foremost, we're not going to lie and tell you that we're not a bit selfish about it, and it isn't a good brand move. So for our meat company, our merchandise side of things, for being a nationwide distributor of these products, it obviously helps get more attention on the brands that we have. Secondly, we also want to spotlight this farming and ranching industry. That's a big component of why we wanted to do this show. If you look, since 2017, 150,000 family-owned farm and ranches have been lost. We're losing farms daily. Every 4 minutes, another family farm is lost. And so if we can bring awareness to the industry, the first step to having change in an industry is you have to bring awareness to it. People have to know that there's a problem. And right now, not enough people know that there's a problem in farming and ranching.
You're exactly right. What about you, Steve?
Well, I'll guarantee you one thing. The people in the U.S., the United States, or any country, but obviously the United States, they do not want corporations to control their food. I don't know what I tell the boys all the time, use what God gave you from the shoulders up, and don't be a sheep. Think, process the information I give you. I may be wrong. Maybe I got bad information. But when you look at when we have this diversity of all these family farms producing food for us, it's like a safety net. When you give up all your control of your food supply, you got bigger problems.
Everyone thinks that we're so comfortable with our big centralized food chain. What happened during COVID? It literally, in a 2 to 3 week span, every single grocery store was completely cleared out on shelves. People were freaking out. Imagine if that got any worse. And right now we're dealing with this big centralized food supply with the big four in the meat industry, and really across the board, it's all just monopolized. We've got to get back to the family growing unit where local producers are growing the food for the local communities.
You're exactly right. And that goes back to my point on the educational piece of what we're facing. Labor, and we talked a lot about this off camera. We have a labor issue. We've got to get kids educating themselves in farming and want to work in this industry, right? I've got my hoodie on. Farming is cool again. We need people to start working in this industry because we need people to feed us every single day. What's something, it is a TV show, and TV shows sometimes can over-exaggerate on things. What's some things from season 1 that y'all want y'all's viewers to really know? If you've got the platform now to talk to them.
Man, really, there wasn't much exaggerated on anything. It was all pretty true to context. I wish, again, that they would show more than just nuggets of the actual farming and ranching side of things. You'll see in one of the episodes where we're standing outside of what we call Red Barn and it's starting to rain, and you can see us running out and, jumping up and down, happy about the rain. I want the viewers to understand, like, that's true joy in that moment, because it had not rained. I want to say we had finished planning right around May 15th, and that was shot in middle to late June. We had not had a substantial rain for a straight month. Right when those crops were coming out of the ground, right in the very beginning stages of growth. And that rain was the first substantial amount of water we had in a straight month.
And I'll tell you something I think that people need to understand is, you can be the hardest worker, because I like, and my dad could outwork 3 men, and that work ethic I've tried to pass on to the boys. You can be the best businessman. You could do the best strategy planning. I mean, Steven here, nobody could do more spreadsheets. We always get him, but like scheduling, get everything right. And whether Mother Nature controls it all.
Yep.
And you can lose everything. Like, and people are like, oh, they were out. And then of course, the judgments would come real quick. Oh, now they look at the
They party too much. That's why they
party too much. Yeah. Oh no, I will work against any man. Put him out here with me. I promise you, I will work side by side with anybody as hard as they work. So you can do everything right. And in this industry, in this space, so when people are talking about where they're buying food from like these conglomerates, these big 4 meat companies, and we're talking about support your local farm and ranch, you can knowing where that food came from, how it was raised, the practices that we do here on the ranch, pay the extra dollar. It may not because not only are you helping support that so that you're not dependent, but the health of where you could buy ground beef from the store right now, it could be from 40 different cows across
20 different countries.
20 different countries, blended together. What are you eating? But everyone's like, I want to eat healthy. Do you really though? No, you're going to be eating a bunch of medicine when you're 55 or 60, because you look at these countries that eat good food like Italy, and you look at, they don't have a health crisis, and I think we're very fortunate in our area. So we've got a huge Amish community right here next to us. Jamesport, a bunch of my buddies, got a Mennonite community down south, right 10 minutes south down here, and got a Heterite community right up here on K. So we're surrounded by people that take care of themselves. I mean, you'd be amazed what a half-acre garden could grow, what it could support for 3 families, a quarter-acre garden. And when we're talking about what we do, eating healthy now so that when you're older, you're not the pharmaceutical companies just feeding you medicine all the time.
Well, and I think it's important for customers as well, because we talk about humane and ethical raising of animals. If you look at the big monopolized companies that are doing this, to them, they're just numbers on a spreadsheet. To a farmer and rancher, that cow, that pig, those chickens, whatever it may be, that herd, that is their livelihood. And so they care about those animals as if they were a family member. Those crops as if they were a family member. Those animals come first before anything else in their life. It doesn't matter. And I love this line from Yellowstone. It's so true. And it's Beth Dutton that says it. And it's like, it doesn't matter what you got going on in your life. They still got to eat. You could have a party planned. You could have a personal crisis breaking down. But guess what? Those animals still got to eat. So your butt still has to be out there taking care of them.
We'd like to take a minute to talk about Blue Otter sunglasses. Blue Otter sunglasses are the shades of choice for country superstars like Luke Combs, Cody Johnson, Riley Green, and Hardy. With Carl Zeiss scratch-resistant lenses, Blue Otter has partnered with Ag America to create the Like a Farmer frames, which benefit farmers and ranchers in rural communities. 10% of each purchase of the Like a Farmer Blue Otter sunglasses goes to Ag America Giving. Go to blueotterpolarized.com and search Like a Farmer. You can also go to likeafarmer.com and click on merch. Hey y'all, it's Pat, and I'm back to talk about my great partner, Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. That's why when you look for the Fresh from Florida logo where you shop, you can rest assured that you'll find the freshest, best tasting, and highest quality produce you can get. In the field one day and at the store the next, Fresh from Florida produce goes directly from Florida farmers to you. And right now, sweet Florida watermelon, crunchy Florida sweet corn, and juicy Florida tomatoes are all in peak season, which means they're at peak perfection with flavors as vibrant as Florida's landscape. So if you want to step up your summer recipe with maybe a Florida watermelon and mozzarella salad, Or maybe you're ready to fire up the grill, throw some of that sweet corn on it. Or maybe you're looking for something simple, like a cheesy baked Florida tomato, which is my favorite, with a little bit extra cheese, obviously. Go to freshfromflorida.com to get free and delicious recipes like these. And while you're there, you might as well check out to see what else is in season and see how you can support our Fresh from Florida farmers. And as always, don't forget, there's sunshine in every bite. Spot on, Steven. That's awesome. It's actually really nice to sit here with people that understand, the success that we can all have in farming, but even the adversity that we have to face. Anything we can expect moving forward with McBee Dynasty?
So we are, knock on wood, we're 95% confirmed on a season 2.
Okay.
And so we'll start shooting that here pretty quick. And the goal is to, because of the feedback that we were getting from the show, the feedback the network was getting from the show, everyone loved the actual technical aspects of farming, going out there, doing stand counts, watching the way that we grow our crops, watching the way we take care of our cattle. So we're hoping more of that makes it on season 2. We've already got, hopefully, all of the drama out of the way on season 1.
Listen, we already got Steve dating.
Yeah, let's not make that a key component moving forward.
Yeah, we've pushed that. We've got to see Steve in the underwear. Mm-hmm. All the ladies are drooling over him, so we're good to go. Anything for the ladies, Steve, you want to say? Or?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's great.
Please accept my sincere apologies. I'm really not a bad guy. I love the trolls, long live trolls, but when you go back to your parents' basement or the bridge, give me a little slack there. You know what I'm saying?
Go. I love it. Let's I want to move on from the TV show because it's so cool to sit here and see all of the other things you're doing. I mean, Steven, I've asked you about engraving, the studio, the pictures, the technology. It's like you've got your hands in all of it. Like, give me the rundown. And while I'm asking this question, I'm going to have another Apex stick because these things are unbelievable.
They're great.
Well, thank
Y'all
you.
Want one? Y'all want?
Actually, I will take one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Give me the rundown on the other.
Favorite too.
Jalapeno cheddar for sure.
So
on the other businesses that y'all have going on right now, give me the rundown.
Yeah, so we've got a custom home building company in the city, as well as an express car wash change. So McBees Coffee and Car Wash. The whole goal with these other businesses is to try and control the things that we can't control in farming. So we talk about farming, Mother Nature being a variable we have absolutely no control over, and it affects everything we do. Number 2 is labor. Labor's tough right now, and it takes a very, very skilled labor force to be able to operate on our farm or any farm today. You think about the technology that's in a tractor cab nowadays. It takes 20 years of experience to really be able to understand what it takes to grow a quality crop. So labor's tough. And then you're also dealing with a commodity market. So we have no control over what the end price of our product is going to be. It doesn't matter if I raise my crops in a regenerative, sustainable way. I baby my ground. I try to take care of it as good as I can while my neighbor across the road, for lack of a better word, rapes the soil of nutrients and just farms, plows every single year, doing everything he can, just basically destroying that ground. At the end of the day, his corn cob is worth the same as my corn cob, or his bushel of corn is worth the same as mine. And obviously there's organics and some things like that, but if we're just talking straight yellow corn, it doesn't matter. And so how do we get out of this tough industry and help supplement the income from the farm? Because we love the farm and ranch. This is our passion. This is where our heart is. We're always going to be involved in it. But we've got to find a way to get through the tough years, and diversification was the only way.
Absolutely. How did y'all get into, because y'all are first-generation farmers.
Right.
What made y'all want to get into farming?
Well, in 98, we bought our first farm. So it was like 25 years last year. But basically, when I had the boys, I had Stephen and Jesse and Cole on the way.
Yep.
And I wanted a place to, take them. I lost my hunting ground with my dad. We're from a small town right here, Braymer's, just 20 minutes south of here. And I wanted to have a place where I could take the boys. The old saying rings true. Take your kids hunting, you won't have to hunt for them. Spend time with them in the outdoors, spend that quality time. And I wanted to have that place that was our own. That if I want, and that just kind of grew from there. We started farming, got a farm in 98, started farming, and just absolutely loved it. I love the science. I love everything about it. And, it kicks your butt a lot, and I love the challenge of it. So we just kind of grew exponentially from there.
A lot of people have seen the scenes where we talk about how tough the ag industry is. And they're like, if it's so hard, why are you doing this? And I'm like, I don't know how to describe it, but when you're driving around a gravel road in the summer evenings, whether it be watching the cows graze on your pasture that you put all the work into, or watching your crops grow with every single new half inch of rain you get. Being able to feel that feeling is something that you can't put into words, and you can't really make it make sense to people that don't understand what it is. And so if you could just have someone hop in the cab of your truck and drive around with you and be able to experience that, it'd be like, oh, I understand. Like, this is why you guys deal with all this adversity, because there's no industry in the world that can capture that feeling that farming can.
Spot on. I've always said, if I could get everybody that doesn't understand it just to drive through the family farm and the ranch back home, like, and just appreciate the land, it would change your life, and it would give you a more appreciation of the land, but also yourself, right? I mean, eating healthy and taking care of your body. I mean, Steve, you hit on that too. It's like, this is something that we need. We don't want to depend on other countries to feed ourselves, right? I mean, we talked about this a little bit. Like, if all the other countries stopped sending food to China, I mean, they would starve within a week. I mean, it's very important that not only are we eating good here, but we're growing the food right here in our soil.
Right. Oh, 100%.
Couldn't agree more.
I mean, it's funny because I think it's in everybody's genetics. It's in our DNA. You ask, like, I don't care if you're on Wall Street selling stocks, and it's in your DNA.
You're still eating that hamburger.
Yeah. And when you grow your own food, when you see that process, and I love that every year we get a new season. It's always it's a new challenge, but it's a new opportunity to do better. And I just love that feeling. And one thing I want to step back for and just talk about, because the challenge is that I call it the big three, and I've said this a lot, and the boys know I preach it all the time. So you look at the ag space, and you got the big three. So you have your inputs, right? And then you have what you sell your product for, the commodity price, and then you have Mother Nature. How many people run a business that you control 1 out of 3? All I can control is our input. So our seed cost, our chemical, our labor, our tractors. But then the product, I can't control global commodity prices. So, I was talking to Doug last night. He would Wright Farms, one of my good buddies. They're good friends with Kip Kohlers. He does a lot of good things. But that we're talking about, he's like, Steve, can you make a phone call and bring back $7 corn and $15 beans? I said, Doug, if I would, if I could, I would. Yeah. Because we don't control that. And then again, doing everything right, Mother Nature wiping it out. So the big three in the ag space, we control 1 of the 3. That's not a good bet. That's not a good, if you look at it from a risk assessment, it's not a good gamble.
Yeah, and I'd even go a little bit further and add one more. It's the consumer too. Mm-hmm. You hit a little bit, but like organic and like, well, I kind of want almond milk. I don't like regular milk. Or hey, what are they calling it now? I think Pizza Hut or Burger King has the Impossible Burger. Yeah. Like you can't help the consumer either. And you talk about ever changing. I mean, these generations coming up too. It's like you have to grow something to appeal to the consumer. And that's why marketing is so important in farming. And y'all have done a great job. And you've hit it on earlier. It's like the TV show, it's not like I'm making millions of dollars. It's great for brand awareness, but it's great for ag brand too. Like, people need to know what agriculture is, because that consumer, you can't control what they eat, but you can dang sure at least market to them.
Inform them.
Correct. And all the businesses, like, what's everybody's day-to-day role?
So for me specifically, I'm mostly focused in right now our beef side, so our actual meat slaughter plant, and then the end products, Apex being one of them. And the farming side, I'm still around, but I'm not day-to-day involved with. My brother Cole is more of the in-the-field manager, and then we have a couple guys. Jesse Stretch, our COO of the farm, just does an incredible job. But we all have... I think what really sets us apart and what makes our company work is we have different skill sets. So we all have our specialties, whereas I'm sales and marketing side of things. My dad's construction. My brother Jesse's overseeing construction on car washes. My brother Cole loves the farm, so he's in the field managing. And then my youngest brother loves the car washes. So it's not like we all have the exact same skill set, which I don't think would work across our company. We're too big of a company to have everyone focused in one central area.
And I'll tell you, I think growing up in a 6th-generation farming family, it's not like, hell, you can't even afford for everybody to work just on the family farm. No. You follow me? You can't afford to pay it. I mean, that's real life, guys. I mean, you can't, not all the boys and all the family members just can't, I'm going to go work on the farm. Nobody would make any money.
Absolutely.
And that's a sad reality, right?
It is.
I want to talk about this a little bit just because I'm eating them. They're so damn good. How did Apex meat sticks, how did that come about?
So 10 years ago, if you would have asked me what the end goal of our farm was, like if we had a grand plan for 2030, the year 2030, it would be we raise the crops, we raise the pasture ground that our herds then feed on. We then take those herds through our facility and turn them into in-packaged products. We call it our vertically integrated ecosystem. So whenever we say farm to table, we truly mean like that animal not only stays in the Midwest, it stays on our farms. It doesn't ever leave our farms from growing up, being born, growing up through the processing facility and end-to-end package. And that was the end goal 10 years ago. And as we've developed the farming operation, as we've gotten more involved in it, Apex became phase one of what I wanted to do. I was actually in Canada, or actually Alaska, with my brother Jesse. And I try to eat healthy. I'm always very conscious about what I'm eating. I'd grab some beef jerky from the gas station. My brother Jesse's got a sweet tooth. He had a candy bar. We had 16 hours of daylight, 18 hours of daylight up in Alaska that time of year, and so we were so bored we were sitting there reading nutrition facts on our snacks. And I found out that my beef jerky had as much sugar as his candy bar did. And then if you look at the ingredients list of my beef jerky, I was like, why in the hell is all of this in beef jerky? I thought it was just meat and some spices, right? And so whenever I got back, I started doing some more research into it, and I found out that so many companies are pumping these meat sticks mostly full of sugar, preservatives, and anything and everything they can put into it, cheap filler ingredients, to try and sell it as this healthy whole meat process whenever it's anything but. And so that started a 2.5-year venture on trying to make these meat sticks as healthy as I possibly can. And now we've got it to where not only are we making the meat sticks, we're raising the beef, we're using our own cows, we're putting our own custom formulations and blends into them. So they're higher protein, lower to no sugars, depending on the flavor, and all natural ingredients.
That's an awesome story there. Now, the car washes, I mean, how did that come about? I can get every other business, and then boom,
that one's way out in left field, right?
Car washes, yeah.
I had a buddy down in Monroe, Louisiana, and he came up with one of my other buddies, Dylan Scott. He's a country singer. They came up turkey hunting, and we were shooting the bull one time over dinner. And I was asking him, he's a VP of a bank down there, what his most successful loan portfolios were. And this was 2017, 2018. He's like, man, you won't believe this. These express car washes are paying off in 3 years. And again, the market was ripe at the time, but they were just producing crazy amount of revenue, low labor, very cookie cutter. So you take one design, you can stamp it across the country in all sorts of different cities. And so that led me down that path of like, okay, so we have everything the farm is not is what the car washes are. Low labor, mostly automated. You're not depending on whether you're dealing with a tunnel car wash. So anywhere in the Midwest is going to have good weather conducive to car washing. And other than that, it basically, once you create the system, it runs itself. And so that's really what got us into the car wash chain.
I think it's really important to note, and I say this a lot, farmers' work ethic is the first thing you're going to say. I mean, it's Monday through Sunday, 24/7. But having that entrepreneur mindset is so important. We've talked about it. Diversification. You got to have it. You have to have revenue streams coming from a million different places, just because, number one, Mother Nature, like y'all, you can't control that. The labor, like when you think about modern day agriculture, I mean, what's a couple of things that y'all would like? What's y'all's mindset right now in modern day ag?
Technology for sure. I mean, we did go all green, John Deere, and we played around for.
Shout out JD.
Shout out JD. We played around with a lot of. I'm a bargain shopper. Like I said earlier, I'm an OG. I'm always over there, so I would horsepower, whatever deal I could get. We had a crayon box of every kind of. I had
blue,
every
yellow,
tractor,
red, green.
red, blue, everything. Yep. I mean, we may have had purple. I don't even remember if they made.
There was every color. Under the sun.
Color. And then I come to Steve, and he was getting out of his MBA, and obviously tech savvy, what I would consider way more than myself, like a mile. But anyways, I'm like, make these things communicate. So he started going through different systems, and we just could not get them to work.
If it wasn't a hardware problem, it was a technology problem. I had guys that were calling me, or I would call them because it'd show them sitting in a field for 2 hours straight. I'd call them and be like, hey, why are you sitting in this field? I'd be like, I'm 2 counties over planting. I was there 2 days ago. I'm like, well, the data's reporting that you're still in this field. And so we realized very quickly that we needed to have a consistent data software system that would allow us to see where everyone was, be able to report. Let's be honest, again, bigger fish in a smaller pond. We have whistleblower complaints nonstop. And whenever that whistleblower complaint or call comes into the government, it triggers an instant audit. That day, they come out to your office, they sit you down or walk in with a marshal and say, I need all your spray records.
Yep.
So-and-so was saying you were spraying next to her apple trees and the wind was blowing across the road and you killed them all. Well, back in the day, that technology wouldn't communicate. I couldn't give them the documents required. And so John Deere is really what came in and saved the day from a technology standpoint, and that's why we transitioned to all green.
Oh, for sure. So Steven obviously isn't in the field operating equipment. He don't. No. And then, back in 18 and 19, I said 18 was the worst drought we had. 19, almost the worst flood year. Back-to-back devastating years. Then 2020 was COVID. And we were going through people left. I mean, it was like an exchange all the time. And then we're trying to figure out where, get planning dates, get this. And you're talking about, they don't work here no more. They worked here 3 weeks. They were gone. I mean, it was absolute chaos. We're growing. And, through 3 years in a row, we had just devastating effects from the drought to the flood to COVID, and changing people like musical chairs, and then trying to get, when you're not out there. I mean, we had like 300 different fields we're farming in 2020.
2020 we had 750.
Okay, there you go.
I want to, like, right now, what are y'all farming right now?
Mid-30s?
Yeah, mid-30,000s. Okay, yeah. But 2020 we were even bigger because of an operation that failed by us. Ended up being a last-minute deal where we ended up trying to take it over.
In the spring.
Like
in Arkansas, too.
Yeah, and it covered 3 different states. Nightmare trying to manage all of that. And then we didn't get half of the workers that we were supposed to get because COVID shut down international travel. Yep. So we're doing it shorthanded while we're building the car washes, while I'm running a meat operation. And a lot of people will comment on my social media and say, I'm not a real farmer because I'm not in a tractor cab every single day. At our size, with how diversified we are, that wouldn't work. We wouldn't be able to feed all the mouths we have if I was in a tractor cab every day or in a horse saddle every single day for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
They say, oh, you guys aren't real cowboys. You're not real farmers. Look, I'm never going to say that I'll outwork some of the guys that are solely focused on farming and ranching. They're better farmers than we are. They're better cowboys than we are. I've never debated that. I respect those guys more than anything. I just don't want to work my life 7 days a week depending on Mother Nature for my income. So we're diversifying.
Isn't that so funny too about going back to the "you're not a real farmer" thing? Like, number one, I'm gonna continue to preach on this. Marketing, it might be one of the most important things in farming right now, and like you need marketers on your team. Technology, and we've talked about that off camera. Like data engineers. I mean, it's not just all about, hey, go get on a tractor and plow some fields and harvest. Like you need people in the office to run farm operations too. And that's like that education piece that I continue to harp on. What's one thing you would say to the modern day consumer about ag?
For the modern consumer, what I would say is, if you can, do your research on who you're buying your food from. If it's a locally grown source, do your research on that farm and ranching operation. Make sure they're transparent about what they're doing. Are they working on regenerative agriculture? Are they trying to lead the way into the future, or are they stuck in the past? Because you want to join forces. You want to be purchasing your products from people that are trying to make a difference, from operations that are doing what they can to progressively lead ag, and whether that be on the beef side or on the row crop side. And so I would just say it's all about doing your research and becoming educated on where you're buying your food from, because at the end of the day, we talk about so many people are spending money on beauty products, whatever it may be. The most important thing you could invest in is your food, because that's going into your body.
Yeah.
That's literally going into your body. So you better know what's going into your body.
I agree. Like we talked a little bit briefly earlier about that, but I'd say one word: traceability. Mm-hmm. So you come back to knowing where that, we're looking at like our meat company and the cattle we're raising and everything we're doing to make that healthier for you and healthier for myself and everybody. Mm-hmm. We're looking at, as we have our fulfillment center being built over here and our farm to table brand, that traceability of really knowing, like, we're going to, be selling eggs. Those eggs, we get the manure from the Amish right over here on the organic eggs. We're going to sell our meat, eggs, all the products that we're going is that traceability factor. Like, we're going to end up giving some tours, but it's, people come see, instead of going to these corporations and again, not
everything is closed door for these big corporations. They don't want to show you what goes on behind the scenes, because if any consumers could see that, they would be appalled, knowing that the animals, the meat they're consuming, those animals were raised under roof and don't even know what the sun or grass is.
Yeah.
Even grass-fed beef is raised under roof and fed grass. Like, they're not out in a pasture roaming around. 85% of the grass-fed beef is coming from overseas.
And all these big corporations, all they're doing is they're sitting in office buildings with a team of they're trying to figure how they can get more pigs or more cows or more chickens per square inch of that building, because it changes this profit margin. There's just no stewardship of what the animal, for the animal's life. Yeah. And I think when you look at local farmers like what we are and so many others throughout the U.S. that, as Steven stated earlier, they care about those animals. It's their livelihood. I mean,
it's like a family member to them. It's not a number on a spreadsheet. And I think Will Harris from White Oak Pastures, who I highly recommend if you could get in touch with, that guy is an icon. Will Harris from White Oak Pastures out down in Bluffton, Georgia. He is what we want our operation to be in a few short years, and he says it perfectly. He says that the food system should not be scalable, but it should be replicatable. So we might not have this big scalable food chain where it's centralized, but we should be able to replicate these ecosystems across the country to where we're buying from local sources.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, it's Pat, and I'm here to talk about one of my favorite companies in the world, Ag America. Ag America is your go-to financial partner for all things agriculture. As the largest independent financial firm dedicated to rural America, Ag America is changing the game of ag lending and leveling up financing options for farmers, ranchers, and landowners all across the nation. And I'll let you in on a little secret. The thing that sets this company apart from the rest is the people. They understand firsthand the unique needs of American farmers and ranchers because many of them grew up on farms themselves. They take a farmer-focused approach to finance, prioritizing relationships over transactions to help you build a stronger financial foundation for not only yourself, but for your family. So whether you're looking to buy land or secure working capital, Ag America has your back. Visit agamerica.com today to learn more and see how they can help you achieve long-term financial success. Because don't ever forget, when farmers thrive, we all do. Me and these two guys can sit here and talk about farming all day. And before we move on to one of my favorite parts about the show, I do want to hit on what you mentioned earlier, like the labor side of it. We do need to understand, and one big thing that we do face that we haven't touched on a lot is policies and politicians. We need these politicians to understand ag too. I remember during COVID, I'm not going to point out any politicians, but there was a time where, hey, because of international travel not working out, instead of H-2A, like, let's just have those Americans do that work. Yeah, you bet, bud. I mean, we need H2A. Those workers, they're doing hard work, and we need that in these operations. Over 95% of farms in America are still family-owned, and we have to keep it that way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely have to keep it that way. In 2020, we had 15 guys from South Africa that couldn't come over. And so we ran 15 guys short. And again, like you said, politicians were just like, well, just grab some local labor.
Yeah.
That doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
Like, this is a very, very intricate, specialized skill set that you have to be in the farming and ag space. You can't just take anyone out in the world walking around and throw them in a tractor cab and tell them to go plant corn.
And we had to do some of that in 2020, and we paid the price.
Yeah.
I mean, it was terrible. I mean, you're talking about, hey, that corn seed's laying on top of the ground. You didn't have the down pressure. I mean, there was so many issues of struggles that we dealt with, and those people, and they were here and then they're gone. You know, they used to be, I'm laid off at a pipeline or oil company, or I'm laid off at
I can work for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, I can be there for 3 weeks. Oh, man, train them in a tractor in 30 minutes, and we've got to cover the ground because, as you know, timing in agriculture is everything. If I could summarize agriculture to one word, it's timing. Mm-hmm. I mean, time to plant, spray, harvest. If you don't do it timely, it's a train wreck, everything.
Well, you think about a car wash. Here's another big struggle with ag. You get one opportunity to make your revenue for the entire year. One opportunity. So say if our car wash, we struggled a bit in sales, we had some equipment malfunctions. All right, that was a bad month. We'll get them next month. Okay, yeah, farming, we had equipment breakdown. We weren't able to get the fields planted. It's the middle of July. What do we do now? You're done.
Didn't get our H-2A workers in 2020.
You're done.
You gotta wait till next year. Sorry.
Yeah.
This meat stick's unbelievable. I'm gonna be y'all's biggest advertiser.
Oh, thank you.
All right, favorite part of the show. It's called the Group Challenge. It's a game that I like to play.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask y'all a couple questions, and y'all answer in with the appropriate way that y'all feel. So, Group Challenge. First question is for Mr. Steve. Who's the hardest working son?
Man, that is a setup question. This is a no-win situation for me right here.
Cole's turning it up right now wherever he is.
Yeah.
Because they all have their different skill sets, as he said. Steven is obviously up at 4 a.m. every morning. He's a grinder. He sticks it out. I could never do it. Neither could Jesse or Cole. We all talk about how does he sit at that computer all day and stare at it. We couldn't do that. Jesse is so consistent. I mean, like if you tell Jesse be there, he's quiet. Just like he is on the show. He's real. I always say he's such a sweet boy. And he's like, Dad, don't say I'm sweet. But he just stays steadfast. Cole works really hard. He'll plant for 48 hours. I mean, he's like me. I'm like, I go really hard and then I'm like this. And so Cole's a lot like that. Braden's probably a lot like Jesse. He's pretty consistent, even keel.
Do you like how the answer's here? And
I can't.
Full circle around.
Up too.
I just can't. I mean,
that's fine. You can.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'll tell you this.
Plead the fifth on that one.
I'm a very, very blessed man to work with my 4 sons every day. Of everything through all the pain, struggle, challenges, heartache. At the end of the day, it's all worth it for me. I'm very fortunate.
You've done a great job. You still went way around the bush, and that's okay. But you have done a great job as a father. And
well, thank you.
And somebody that was raised by a single mom, 3 boys. Like I appreciate what you do and continue to be in your son's life. I really mean that. Steven, your question is Joe Millionaire or McBee Dynasty?
McBee Dynasty all day long. Having my family here with me, filming here at the farm, so much better than dating a bunch of women.
Yeah.
And at the time, whenever I got back from that show, it was actually during harvest, and I was calling home to all these guys who were busting their butts in the combines, and I was like, man, I'm so stressed out. Like, you don't understand. We're working 12-hour days. I'm dating 20 women. I don't even remember their names. And they're like, yeah, tough life. As they're working 16-hour days in the combine, I'm like, it sucks.
Yeah. Is that still a TV show?
No. It was in 2003. It was a giant hit. Like, did Super Bowl type ratings.
Yeah.
They shelved it, and then they brought it back in 2022 for like a spinoff, and it flopped. So
yeah. And just to hit on the same production company that did that,
different. Different.
No.
Okay.
It's a small world in the production world.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, Steve, blondes or brunettes?
Oh.
Well, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with blonde.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It runs in the fam.
Yeah.
Same bloodline here.
Blondes.
You
They're
pick blonde.
Yeah.
my ex-wife, who I love dearly, and I would never pick another. I mean, give her all the due respect due her, and she's blonde, and so I'd probably be blondes.
There you go. That's a good choice. I'm going brunettes, to be honest with you, man.
Oh,
I'm going
Different
brunettes.
strokes for different folks, right?
Yeah.
That's true. All right, Steven, so I'm assuming Jesse's going to be the first one that gets married. I mean, that's it. So who out of the sons is going to be the next one to get married?
So I believe that Braden will be next. Cole, I think the actual timeline is going to go Jesse, Braden, Cole divorce, Cole get remarried, Cole divorce, Cole get remarried, Cole get divorced, and then me.
Dude, that is great.
And the irony of that, it's going to be the same girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, I appreciate y'all playing that game. That's one of my favorite games. Love that game.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say one thing, not to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Because saying it would be the same girl. There's a saying around like the small town, like Gallatin.
You don't lose your girlfriend, you just lose your turn. Because she always comes back around.
She may date your friends, but then she comes back, on a cycle.
Yeah.
So we always make fun of Cole because, him and all his buddies were like, so who's dating who now? Who's dating what? What?
Well, like, gosh, she'll be back in like 4 months.
Yeah.
And is it all like local girls
Yes.
too? I mean,
Yeah.
How does that work when it comes to dating around here? I mean, are y'all like a big dating site type of crew, or you found yours on a TV show?
This is the tough thing about small towns is
We're talking dating with McBees now.
That's right. Yeah, some
Eating
dating
apron.
advice.
Yeah.
Dating advice in small towns. It seems like all of the good ones get married and start a family at 20 years old in a small town. Or the other good ones that don't want to get married, they move to the city. So I am maybe this is hyperbole, so don't hold me to this. I don't want to be hated on for this too much, but it leaves your talent pool of potential dating realm in the small town very small, especially when you hit like 22 years old.
Totally agree. I come from a small town, so they're like, it's really hard to find that girl in a small town because well, dude, your best friend dated her. Hey, man, she might actually be your cousin. We don't know. Like, it's like that type of thing. It's like you gotta have some feelers out there when it comes to dating in a small town.
Yep.
With Steve and McBee.
That's right.
Great right there.
That's right.
Steve, how did you, tell me about your childhood. Like, how did you grow up, and why is it so, because I mean what I say, you've done such a great job with the boys, and I can tell it's important to you to raise them up the right way, but tell me about your childhood.
Well, so we were dirt poor, like absolutely dirt poor. Had nothing. My dad would outwork 3 men. And I say this a lot, he, obviously everything good that I have inside of me came from my father and his work ethic. And that's why I believe in work ethic so much. And, there's a lot of people that end up making a lot of money in life, and that's great, and they're really wealthy, and they can write a lot of checks for charities or donations. But to me, I believe there's no better service than someone that gives their time. Like in Bramer, the town we were in, if there was an elderly person, their pipes frozen at -23 in the morning, they called my dad. Their roof was leaking, they called my dad. Their deck needs rebuilt, they called my dad. I mean, he was that guy. And so, for me, I always everybody would talk about, when my dad was 12, he dug a foundation with a shovel 3 days for his grandpa's new house. And everybody talks about that story. And for me in my life, I always wanted to be talked about like my dad. Man, that guy works so hard, so hard. And so I wanted to pass that on to my boys to understand that, it ain't about the money. Money comes and goes, and it's come and gone with me. I mean, people, these are real struggles. People see this and they have this perception. Oh, these guys are so wealthy. They don't have a clue of making payroll, paying the bills, paying this, the struggles of real life. And I'm good at the end of the day, as long as I raise good boys, good young men now, I'm not boys, but and I have them. I mean, you can take all the material things, but you can't ever take the work ethic or my brain out of I have what I have. And so for me, that's what means everything to me.
That's spot on. And for you, Stephen, what drives you to be the best version of yourself every single day?
I would just say that really the life that I've had growing up is complete opposite of my dad's. I mean, both my mom and dad, greatest parents in the world, took care of us boys, beyond took care of us. I mean, we were spoiled, candidly. And for me, I've always thought to myself, if I was given such an incredible life growing up with an incredible family and parents, it would be a shame if I was to waste that potential. And potential's become the word that I hate more than anything in this world. It's my most hated word. I hate the word potential because all it means is unfulfilled promises. And so for me, I want to be able to not only live up to that potential, but then exceed it and be able to pass it on and touch as many people as I can, whether it be through our brands or just through, like my dad said, the time and care that we want to show the people.
That's awesome. Man, y'all have done such a great job. And both of y'all, I credit both of y'all, and I look forward to continue to follow along, not only as a TV show, but just continue to grow the friendship that we're gaining here. 5 years, where's the McBee Dynasty going to be? And both of y'all's.
Well, that $10 million
McBee Dynasty, not just a TV show, but just the McBees in 5 years. What's y'all's goal?
We're still going to be here, no doubt about it. We're still going to be running and operating these businesses, still have the farm and ranch. That's what we love to do. Plan on growing out the cattle side a little bit. And like we talked about earlier, hopefully we're sitting in that Kevin Costner chair where we're talking about $10 million an episode for our reality TV show. That'd be nice. Hopefully I'm manifesting that into fruition. So
there you go.
I know I have a dream. We're so blessed just to have the land and the ground that we have, and given the opportunity to be good stewards of that land here. But I'm 52, and I'd love to have a ranch in Montana.
Something about the West.
I'm a mountain guy. I'm not a beach guy. I mean, I'm not.
So you're going mountain house over beach house?
Absolutely.
1,000% of the time. Give me a flannel, not a whatever you call. I don't even know, swim trunks, whatever. But I was trying to think whatever those guys wear.
I think I'm going beach house over mountain house. But really? I'm a Florida boy. So.
Are you? Yeah.
Dude, there's nothing like sitting at the tiki bar with a margarita. Oh my gosh. I'm manifesting positivity right
That's
now.
right.
Yes, you are. I like the chill in the air, that flannel in the mornings, and I like the cool weather, and I don't like being sunburnt.
I just don't like the sand up in places that sand should not be.
Yeah, there you go. I'm with you on that.
Giving you some rubs.
Rubbing me raw. I walk like a duck for 3 days after a beach trip.
Man, this has been fun. I really appreciate y'all coming on this show, and I mean what I say. This is I think Yellowstone has done a great job with that show to highlight what real life could be. And then y'all's show coming out and understanding what it really is has been so important, not just for rural America, because we get it, right? It's for the people outside of rural America to understand what real life farming and agriculture is. So I really appreciate what y'all and the whole family is doing.
Well, thank
we
you very
appreciate
much.
you taking the time to come down. I know you're getting a ton of windshield time. People, I know how exhausting that can be. I spent a lifetime, doing that. So appreciate you coming.
Yeah, and the podcast is awesome. I'm
Yeah.
listening to the episode and what you guys have going for momentum. It's really, really cool. You guys are actually making a difference and informing America about what takes place.
Educating and enlightening them. I
Seriously.
mean, stay the course, man. You're doing good things.
I appreciate it. And that's a great point, too, before we finish. The podcast that y'all have going on, anything you want to say on that?
Yeah, we're getting ready to launch our podcast. It's going to be weekly delivery. So we call it Welcome to the Farm, and then we're also going to launch one called Meet the McBees, just to show you the behind the scenes. There's a lot more substance than what you've seen on season 1 of just the drama and the relationships. There's actually we work every single day, and we want to showcase that and teach America about what we're doing on the farm.
I love that. Man, I really appreciate today. I've got my meat sticks. I got my my flask with the McBee Farm and the Like a Farmer logo, which was unbelievable. I asked Steven, I said, man, you got somebody local that does this? He said, no, we do it in-house. Seems like they do everything in-house. These guys are unbelievable. Appreciate everybody tuning in. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do to be like a farmer.